Ladies and gentlemen, MrBeast finally addressed the allegations, but there's some gaps and holes to be filled, some questions to be answered. As earlier this year, around June or July, some pretty serious allegations came out regarding Ava Kris Tyson. Allegations involving grooming a minor and MrBeast and Ava supporting artist Shadman, which is known to draw underage kids in explicit ways. Then, as we know it, Rosanna Pansino and DogPack404 came out with a series of videos on their YouTube channels alleging some pretty serious stuff at the MrBeast company. Allegations like fraud, including faking videos, selling fake signatures, illegal lotteries, crypto scams, false advertising, toxic work environments, and even SA. But over the course of time, as all this has unfolded, both sides have gotten things right and wrong. For example, MrBeast covering certain things up, acting like he didn't know, or DogPack spewing false accusations about domestic violence of the MrBeast CEO, as well as DogPack and Rosanna's recent collaboration and them getting false claims of CP and a weird creepy anime. But before we get right into it, I want to go ahead and make something very clear. I've been called a MrBeast glazer, MrBeast meat rider, and I've also been called a MrBeast hater. Let's get something straight. I don't hate MrBeast. I think he makes good content. I do disagree with some of the practices he does, but if there's wrongs on his side, his wrongdoing, I will call them out. I don't agree with that. So I don't have like a personal vendetta against him, or I'm not trying to cancel him for no reason. And at the same time, I don't hate Rosanna Pansino. I know almost nothing of her. I only know her because of the whole controversy that has been going on with MrBeast. And I don't know DogPack either. So I'm probably one of the most unbiased commentary YouTubers that covers any of this stuff. But with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So MrBeast and sexual misconduct took place at his company after investigation completes. They found no pedophilia, no group, no CP. But let's go ahead and rewind a little bit and go back to a post he made on July 24, 2024, where he said, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings." So MrBeast hired an independent third-party company, a law firm, to investigate this whole situation. That takes me to this video on DogPack's channel titled MrBeast Secret CEO. This was uploaded on August 28th. Let's go ahead and watch a clip from it and what he had to say.
We're gonna have a law firm investigate this. Well, they had one firm do an internal investigation, McGuire Woods LLP, the same law firm that sent me my first cease and desist. But then they hired, I guess, Harvey Weinstein's legal team, allegedly, to re-review everything. So I guess they weren't happy with the results of the first internal investigation. Also, yeah, this new law firm, Quinn Emanuel, MrBeast has worked with them previously, allegedly, to internally investigate LaKoya Hill's sexual misconduct. So, why don't you make that report public, Jimmy?
MrBeast had already worked with a firm, a company that had investigated this, and they probably did not like what they found, so he hired somebody that had already worked with them in the past. This right here is absolutely mind-boggling for obvious reasons. But now that we have that context, let's go over this statement that MrBeast put out today. And it says, "A 3-month investigation into allegations regarding my company has concluded. The law firm and investigators reviewed millions of documents and messages and conducted 39 interviews. I was asked to refrain from making public statements to enable a detailed and unbiased investigation. Below are their conclusions." Let's go ahead and read what this firm that MrBeast had allegedly already worked with had to say and what they found. So it says, "Internal investigation, key findings and conclusions. Dear Board of Directors, as you know, in July 2024, MrBeast LLC engaged Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan LLP to conduct an internal investigation into specific allegations made publicly, incidents reported internally, and issues raised by employees in interviews, including with respect to current and or former company personnel and the company's workspace environment and culture. At your direction, Quinn Emanuel immediately launched a comprehensive investigation, which has now concluded. The following sets forth certain key findings and conclusions from the investigation without waiving any applicable privileges, including but not limited to the attorney-client privilege and work product protection. As an initial matter to protect the investigation's integrity, on July 31st, 2024, Quinn Emanuel requested that a former employee, Dawson French, cease making public allegations against the company, as those were the topic of an ongoing investigation. In other words, they were telling DogPack to shut the fuck up, as DogPack is Dawson. We also requested that current employees refrain from public comments to ensure the investigation yielded accurate information and that witnesses were not tainted. The intent was to foster candid interviews and complete cooperation with the investigatory process, so they weren't letting anyone that works there speak on this publicly. Quinn Emanuel conducted 39 interviews of current and former employees. Over 4.5 million documents collected from mobile phones, emails, telegrams, discords, WhatsApps, and Slack were processed and reviewed. The collaboration and cooperation sought at the outset were achieved throughout this process. Quinn Emanuel thoroughly investigated all public allegations and any other that arose during the investigation, which I believe they didn't cover every single allegation, so I don't think that's true. But we move on to the next page. It says the investigation produced the following significant findings. Allegations of misconduct, example, pedophilia, grooming, CP, etc., between company employees and minors are without basis. The allegations were soundly rejected, including by alleged victims. They said these allegations were without basis when we've seen some of the stuff that has gone down within the MrBeast company, anything from messages, people speaking out, so this just sounds absolutely insane to me. Then it says allegations of the company knowingly employing individuals with proclivities or histories toward illegal or questionable legal conduct are similarly without basis. Here too, the allegations were uniformly rejected. And the last one, which says several isolated instances of workplace harassment and misconduct were identified during the investigation. The company was informed of such conduct and took swift and appropriate actions to address the incidents, including, where necessary, disciplining or letting go of implicated individuals. So basically they said, yo, none of this shit's valid, and we got rid of Ava Tyson. Are you guys happy? As you're well aware, the company has grown exceedingly quickly from a YouTube startup comprised of a group of talented young individuals to a much larger entity. It is not uncommon that policies and practices essential in a mature company would lag behind commercial success. This appears to have been the case here and has in certain instances allowed for inappropriate conduct. It is clear that the company is committed to remedying historical issues and creating a mature culture where problematic behaviors are not tolerated as it enters this new phase. The company has already implemented or is in the process of implementing changes to ensure a safe and professional corporate culture today and moving forward. All right, here, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'll go ahead and give some credit where it's due. MrBeast came from being a small YouTuber with a group of friends that created videos to this massive guy that owns companies, this, that, and the third. He had no prior experience, but this is why you make sure to hire the right proper people to take care of these things. I mean, it's not like they don't have the money. So I don't necessarily think that's an excuse. I don't think that, oh, you know, this is like a YouTube startup comprised of like a small group of individuals. I can get it. I guess we can cut a little bit of slack for that. Then it says these are the changes that they are going to be making to the company, sending a clear message regarding tone at the top, hiring a new chief executive officer, chief people officer, and general counsel, and soon to be hired a chief financial officer. Holy shit, so they got rid of everybody at the top. Implementing mandatory corporate training for all employees, which I mean should already be implemented. Developing new policies codified in an employee handbook, establishing an anonymous reporting mechanism and hotline for employees, and swiftly terminating individuals who violated company policy regardless of their position or level within the company, identifying additional employees for targeted training and executive coaching to address professionalism and compliance with company policy. This officially concludes our investigation. We remain available if you need any follow-ups or have further questions. Very truly yours, Alex Spyro. After reading that, this is what I can conclude. I think that if anything, this might be a good thing for the MrBeast company because now they know what not to do. They know to literally be careful with every single thing they do. They know not to act up in any inappropriate way. Moving forward, if anything, this might actually help MrBeast be a better person and have a better company. So now this takes me to the response that the person that Ava Kris Tyson allegedly groomed, which is Lava GS. And let's go ahead and take a look at what he had to say. So he said, now that the investigation is over and MrBeast has addressed it, I want to clarify a few important points that I've remained quiet on as the investigation was ongoing. 1, people used my name to make very serious allegations and claims without ever speaking to me. 2, these people thought they were trying to protect me, but the truth is that they were saying things that were completely false. The private investigators reviewed all my DMs and interactions with Chris. I was the one who sent the Discord leaks to the investigators as they were coming out. It was incredibly difficult having my name thrown around in a public forum without being given the opportunity to share the truth. Thankfully, the people doing the investigation actually did reach out and gave me the opportunity to tell the truth, which I very much appreciated. I was not groomed. These were false allegations made up by other people with my name thrown in them. This investigation was conducted by real investigators and not internet detectives. They reviewed everything. I, as well as all of you, wanted a proper and thorough investigative outcome to the situation. I'm glad it has finally happened. I honestly don't have much of an opinion on that specific situation. Kind of wanted to share it. Let Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. But anyways, that leads us to DogPack's response to the investigation and what they concluded with. And he tweets, a 3-month investigation is only 2 pages. Care to elaborate on how you didn't know you hired a registered sex offender? Care to elaborate on the several isolated instances of workplace harassment and misconduct? And we have Rosanna Pansino responding to a Dexerto tweet that said, MrBeast hiring a new CEO and firing multiple employees after internal investigation found workplace harassment and misconduct at his company. And she says, if your own paid for internal investigation leads to a new CEO and finds workplace harassment and misconduct, as well as multiple firings, I think it might be time for a bigger investigation. Then shout out to my boy Turner, a former employee of MrBeast, who said, I wish somebody called this years ago, which yes, he had made a video, which I covered, where he called this shit out a long time ago. And honestly, I feel like we didn't get too much out of that quote unquote investigation. I think that there's a lot of questions to be answered, like, has MrBeast worked with this law firm before? And if so, why is it that they rehired a law firm to investigate everything? Why did they not like the findings of the original law firm? Can we compare and contrast? Can they make that public? And how is a 3-month-long investigation with apparently millions of things that they went over only 2 pages long? There's so much to cover, and there's things that they didn't even touch on. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about that investigation. But that does take me to something else that happened earlier, where Rosanna Pansino ends up tweeting a video and says, does anybody know if this is true? Very troubling if it is. Dozens of people have sent me this video. It claims that MrBeast never paid for parts of his Curing 1,000 Blind People video. This video has also been out for 8 months. They allege they haven't been able to get in touch with MrBeast or his team, and this problem has now been resolved. But it was a video that claimed that MrBeast went to Mexico, worked with a clinic, and basically never paid for the eye surgeries that they ended up performing. The video is now unlisted. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very creative video. It was a creative way of calling somebody out. So I'll go ahead and link that in the description box if you guys want to watch it. I would definitely check it out. Which, by the way, that even got a journalist from Rolling Stone actually investigating it. Stephen Asark here said, I've spoken to the founder of Mission Flight and reached out to MrBeast for comment. Story in the works. Mission Flight being the company that was calling out MrBeast. And then it turned out that MrBeast did pay for the 1,000 eye surgeries. Mission Flight says the delay was caused by lack of communication and the funds for MrBeast went to another organization. They had to put this update where it says November 1st, 2024 because of the outpouring support from the viewers. Someone from MrBeast reached out to us on October 31st and didn't realize the funds given by MrBeast to another organization didn't actually make it to us. They apologized for lack of communication and immediately made good on the claims to have paid for the surgeries. Thank you to the online community for helping us reach MrBeast, which was the only purpose of our video. So that was resolved. That was a happy ending, and I'm glad MrBeast did right by that. But I do gotta agree with this tweet a bit. Not that I can't be pleased, but it's, you know, there's some truth to it, where it says it wasn't until Rosanna and others started sharing this video and making a fuss that MrBeast company contacted them back and paid. Charity confirms it was finally settled as of 11/1/24. They literally updated their YouTube today and thanked everyone for sharing. In which Rosanna responded and she said, this isn't the first time this has happened either. I definitely wasn't the first to share the story, but I'm glad it was finally resolved after 8 months. This is why it's important to speak up. In which I agree, it shouldn't take somebody calling you out for you to make things right, especially when you're someone of that caliber. In which that brings me to the last segment of the video, in which Keemstar has something to say about the whole MrBeast situation, Rosanna Pansino, and DogPack404.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just feel like I need to speak on this. Recently, I've been defending MrBeast because there's been crazy false allegations put out on him by Rosanna and DogPack. And in return, DogPack, Rosanna, and their supporters are trying to push some narrative that I'm a bad father. And the reason why I'm a bad father is because Kris Tyson supported the CP artist Shabman, who drew my daughter at age 8 in a sexual matter. And because of that, I should be canceling MrBeast and calling him out. Well, I did. I did. And they're trying to rewrite history. They're literally trying to rewrite history. Here it is right here back in July of this year. Kris Tyson supported the cartoon CP artist Shabman that drew my daughter at age 8 in a sexual manner. This is a known fact. Privately, me and Kris Tyson even had a conversation about this roughly a month ago, and it still upsets me. This is not misinformation. This is a fact. That tweet has 12 million views. And then there's more supporting evidence, right? I'm talking about misinformation about Kris Tyson, how that is false, because at the time there was a lot of misinformation, but this is true. Even more, exposing the Reddit. I called this out publicly, and I got way more views than any of y'all did. And this was at a time where people were defending Kris Tyson. I was the one that got the motherfucker kicked out and off the internet, because not only did I make this public post about it, but I also got in contact with MrBeast and voiced my concerns. And MrBeast got rid of Kris Tyson for it. And I'm very fucking grateful. I have maintained online that the worst thing about MrBeast and all of this, all the exposed stuff that's going on, is his friendship with Kris Tyson and that he knew Kris Tyson was into this creepy sexual stuff. MrBeast clearly knew.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't paying attention. And maybe he didn't know every little thing. Of course he didn't know every little thing. But he knew enough to know, hey, this guy probably shouldn't be in my company. And it took me, and it took a private phone call, me complaining, for action to happen. And I get it. And I get it. It should have happened way faster than that. Even though this happened, right? I'm not going to let Rosanna and DogPack and all these other people just make up lies. You know, they came out and said CP was being spread in a MrBeast work chat, and it wasn't a work chat. It was a meme chat created by Kris Tyson. There was no CP sent back and forth. They lied about that. They lied when they
It did, but it's so weird that, you know, Kris Tyson thought that that was CP and he shared it, and yeah, whatever.
said MrBeast was sending a pedo anime to Kris Tyson. It wasn't a pedo anime.
Yeah, that one.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
True. And that's what I always preach.
And not only are you trying to slander and defame MrBeast, now you're trying to slander and defame me, acting like I'm a bad dad and I didn't speak up. And like, bro, me and my daughter are the victim in this situation. And you're trying to slander me and defame me just because I didn't go along with your false narrative? Fuck you, Rosanna. And fuck you, DogPack. You guys are actually garbage humans. Take accountability for your actions. You got this shit wrong. Admit it. And fucking move on with your life. And if you want to come out with more allegations, make sure they're fucking true. You garbage humans.
And I agree with the basis of what Keemstar had to say. Two rights don't make a wrong. I'm always for that. I'm not biased. I think that MrBeast does a lot of good stuff. I think that they got a lot of things right. And I think that both parties have gotten things wrong and have negative outcomes. At the end of the day, it's all about making things right. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this whole situation. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe with post notifications turned on to never miss another video like this. I'll keep you guys updated if anything else comes out about this situation. And make sure to check out all my social media down below in the description box. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Virux out. Peace.